Are you intrigued by the things that go bump in the night? Have you ever gotten the heebie-jeebies when you pass by an old house? Ever desired to dance in a cemetery? Or even obsess over the dark and obscure? Well, me too. Hi, I'm Nicole, and strange topics are my specialty.
From the creators of the White Wednesday Radio Network and Lead Up Studios, this is The Dark with Nicole.
Welcome, my Bats and Batties. We're back, and obviously Cena's here.
Hello.
And it's spooky season, and today we're going to hell. So, we're going to talk about the circles of hell this week, because it's something that is always in biblical lore, something that is always
And like
fascinating.
Dante's Inferno.
Yes, Dante's
epic poem.
Dante's poem will be mentioned throughout this. All my information's from history dot something. I think it was .com.
Great footnote there. Just
Thank you.
Citations. Just fantastic.
I was never good at citations in school, so that's what
either.
you got.
That's
So
bullshit anyways.
literally, like, hey, here it is. Who fucking cares who said it? Came from this website or this book. Find it yourself. First circle of hell is a place where I feel I have been when I did something
As a
and
teenager.
I didn't like it. No, I was definitely 21.
Oh. I just consider you a teenager anytime before
I
me.
know. We're like the same age.
I know, but
Like before we fell in love.
I don't consider there's this dark age before you came into my life. And I just feel like once you came into my life.
We literally met at 23.
Ew, really?
Yes.
Gross. I definitely feel like we met at younger than that.
23.
We don't talk about that part of my life.
It's limbo, by the way. These are all gonna be pretty much layman's terms of what the circles are and what they mean. There's a couple that have circles within the circles and pictures.
Circleception?
Yeah, basically. If you want a movie that kind of has to do with hell, we'll do this before this. As Above, So Below.
Ugh,
Great
yes.
horror movie. Obviously, it's not, or it's fiction, but it's a great movie. I haven't watched it this season yet, and it'll probably be this week, like Thursday when I am at home working.
I don't understand how you watch horror movies alone.
It's during the day. It's totally fine.
No,
For me.
no, it's not.
I literally went last Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I watched all the Conjuring movies.
I would still be scared.
I thought of you while watching the Conjuring movie because of the witch on the wardrobe.
Shake, 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 shake. Still don't know what she looks like.
And then I thought about the part where you're like, "Is it over?" And Andrew and I both said yes. And it wasn't over.
That's when we were watching The Forest.
Was it?
Yeah, because it was like the person in the tent.
No, we were. It was definitely the witch because we made you look at her because you refused.
Was that when she was puking blood into the other one?
No, she was on top of the wardrobe.
No, I've never seen The Witch on Top of the Wardrobe.
Yes, I
literally
swear.
Then I've trauma blocked this.
All right. So, according to the poem by Dante, along with Virgil arrives at limbo. I don't know what the long Virgil is. It's another writing that I just haven't heard about, I think. They both arrive at limbo. It's the first circle of hell. And when you're looking at it, let's just say the middle one is the worst, and as you get out further along, it's the lesser
Of
than
the
one
sins,
before it.
yeah.
So limbo is the very outer circle, the one closest to Earth,
Okay.
if you want to say that, I guess. I should say the land of the living. not Earth. But they had to cross the river Acheron on a boat to reach Limbo, which makes me think of in the cartoon Hercules.
The river Styx.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is mentioned in here, though. So,
Like with Karn,
yeah, I think so.
the boat, the
Yeah.
ferryman.
Yes, that's what it makes me think of is the ferryman. The literal meaning of limbo is boundary or edge. So the first circle contains people who did not accept Christ. Limbo is filled with virtuous pagans and people who were never baptized, the people who don't have enough faith to enter heaven. Triggered something within me.
I'll see y'all. I'll see you motherfuckers there.
But also we're not sinful. But also we're not sinful are sent to limbo. Words.
English.
Oh, that was a whole sentence. I'm sorry. The people who don't have enough faith to enter heaven, but also were not sinful, were sent to limbo. Just saying, when I mentioned I was doing this, it was around your dad, and it brought out a lot in your dad and him talking about, well, they're not real. They're not real. I'm like, I'm just going to stop talking now.
Yep.
Because beliefs are beliefs, and your dad has his, and
I kind of believe there's like just a truth to everything. Because if one thing's real, then it all has to be real.
yes. Like, I'm not saying what your dad says isn't real, but he's definitely saying what I say is not real.
Yeah, because he's diehard Christian.
Yeah. According to the poem, many prominent and influential public figures like Aristotle, Julius Caesar, Hippocrates, Cicero, Socrates, and Homer reside here. Although people are not tortured, there is the presence of sadness and gloominess. The people's souls in limbo are unhappy. Although heaven is near, they won't be able to enter. Second circle of hell. Lust.
My favorite.
Sorry.
Other than gluttony.
I'm like, I could. That's literally the next one. I'm like, I could live in like the first 3 circles and be happy. People who were driven by lust are tormented here. In the poem, Dante says the strong, violent winds blow in the second circle of hell. The violent winds drag and beat the tormenting souls on the rocks and mountains. It symbolizes the supremacy of lust over the people which drives them to satisfy their never-quenching thirst. According to the poem, Dante sees many adulterous people such as Cleopatra, Dido, Helen of Troy, Tristan, Samarius, and many more over there. Dante considers lust as a less heinous crime as it involves more of the mutual indulgence rather than being self-centered. This could be a reason why lust is the second circle of hell.
Listen, I have to describe to you the image I have.
Okay.
You know those wiggly arm people?
Yes.
Like the inflatable wiggly arm mans?
Yes.
I'm just picturing tons of those in the rocks, and they're going like this and wiggling on the rocks. But they're like, yes, daddy! Yes, daddy! Harder! So that is Cena's comical take.
This is what this is for, though, because who knows what... I shouldn't say no one. But, like, I never knew what exactly the circles of hell were, you know? Like, I knew they existed and that they're terrible, but you don't know. Third circle, gluttony. So in this circle, the souls of the people who indulged in voracious feasting and appetite are tortured. The whole landscape is filled with putrefying mud and living organs. The souls are punished by the icy and violent storm which rained foul, decaying sludge and mud onto them. The storm also rained worms and human waste upon them. They are forced
Shitstorm.
They are forced to gurgle around in the solid waste and mud. The monstrous dog beasts with 3 heads, Fluffy, also lived in this circle.
Cerberus.
It wasn't Fluffy, people. Cerberus. The souls are tormented not only for their overindulging, excessive eating, drinking, but also for their
All 3 things we're doing
other
tonight.
addictions. Yes. Gluttony, or unlike lust, gluttony is a self-centered sin, and hence it's considered much more heinous. Welcome to the 4th level. We are on greed.
Okay, work.
The people who condemns the sins of greed is punished in the 4th circle of hell. The circle is divided into 2 groups of people: the ones who spent lavishly and those who hoarded for the great and imperial possessions, which is irrelevant. Plutus, the god of wealth, guards the inner circle of greed. It includes cardinals, clergymen, and also the popes who acclimated possession and wasteful extravagance and foolishly misused others' money for their own benefits. It refers.
Why'd you look at me like that?
Because it's talking about popes and things.
Yeah.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I just never knew.
Well,
As
in the
a
dark
person who
ages-
doesn't study these things, or like into history, things like this. Like, I'm into them, but I'm not like into them.
So in the Dark Ages, clergymen would give away what was called indulgences, which means
Yeah.
you could come, confess your sins, and pay to have them forgiven.
Okay.
So it's like people who took indulgences.
Listen, I have my own thoughts on confessional and doing Hail Mary things.
Isn't that a football thing?
My God. It refers to people as if they lost their soul and carry a huge weight on their chest. They themselves choose to suffer to attain higher possession. The greed indulgence of 2 parties has lured them into the self-pity of misery and lies, which is never enough to suffice their appetite for never-ending greed. Hoarding and squandering have led to the indifference to come to mutual antagonism. I have got the burps.
Me too, but that's because I've had 3 cups of coffee.
Okay. Moving on. Wrath. Number 5. The 5th circle of hell is present in the stinking, decaying water of the Styx River. In this circle live the souls who live their life wrathfully. According to the poem, Dante, along with Virgil, find the souls to fight each other furiously on the surface of the Styx River. Depending on the severity of their wrathful actions, they sink in the river water. It reflects the type of sins they committed in their life. People who indulged in a silent, sullen lie just below the surface. The people who were highly driven by their anger struggled deep inside the river. The souls struggle and fight each other for eternity. They choke each other and stop each other from expressing or speaking. The act represents their anger, which, when expressed, would harm other people.
Pretty straightforward.
The next one is real small. Okay, sixth circle, hearsay.
So like gossip?
It says, this circle marks the beginning of lower hell. The souls being tortured in the successive circles committed heinous crimes, and they are punished with a severely tortured climate. The souls of the people who denied the cores of Christianity are trapped in flaming hot tombs.
Fun.
Yeah.
No comment.
Okay, so 7th level is violence, and there's 3 levels within it.
So there's like sub levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The souls of the people who indulged in violence are put to the punishment and torture in the 7th circle. It is further divided into 3 rings. The souls are sent to suffer in the circles depending on the severity of their violence. In the first ring, the souls of people who committed violent crimes against other humans are being tortured. It includes criminals like murderers, tyrants, war makers, looters, and many more.
Mm-hmm.
Hitler. Their souls are dipped in sweltering blood and flames of the river Phlegelathon. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced
How's
because
it spelled?
it's a Phlege thon. Phlegathon.
Phlegathon, I guess.
Egypt is hard. The souls are dunked in the various depths which represent their lust for blood. The higher the sins of a person, or the higher the sins of the person were, the deeper his soul is submerged to struggle in the scorching blood. There are creatures such as centaurs, half human and half horse present there. They would shoot arrows at the sinners who would try to emerge out of the boiling blood more than they are allowed. According to the poem Divine Comedy, Dante and Virgil see the world's powerful kings and tyrants such as Alexander the Great, Azelino III de Romano, and Dionysus here. They all are suffering and being tortured because of their never-ending desire to conquer the world. Their desire corrupted their minds and led them to kill thousands of people. That is 1.1. 7.1. This is 7.2. In the second ring, the souls of people who committed suicide or attempted to do so are tortured for eternity. The souls are malformed into thorny garland trees. Harpies, half human, half bird creatures feed on them. The punishment symbolized self-hatred, which dried them up and turned them into dead trees. The last ring, 7.3. People who committed crimes like blasphemy, sodomy, and bestiality, and the unfair moneylenders are being tortured. The whole landscape depicts the miserable end of Sodom and Gomorrah. It is all covered by the scorching hot burning sand, and flakes of flames fall from the sky. In the poem, Dante mentions seeing the blasphemers lying on the burning sand and the sodomites running in circles on the sand. The unfair moneylenders are weeping and huddled in the sand. All right. 8th circle of hell. Fraud. It has 10 below it. Or 10 within it. Yeah. Meaning evil ditches is the 8th level. Okay. The 8th circle of hell is Malbolge, meaning evil ditches. This is the place where people who committed fraud and malicious crimes are tortured. It is divided into 10 ditches or bolgia. They're short, though. So
Okay. Yeah.
in the first bolgia, panderers, sex workers, and seducers are tortured. They are whipped by the demons, for they exploited others by seducing them to fulfill their interests. In the second bolgia, flatterers are being tortured who exaggeratedly complimented others on gaining their attention and on corrupting them. In the third bolgia, simoniacs who sold the church's rolls and offices are punished. In the poem, Dante sees Pope Nicholas III as being a corrupted pope. Called you out.
Yeah. Oh.
In the fourth bolgia, Sorcerers such as diviners, fortune tellers, astrologers, and other false prophets are tormented. The fortune tellers had their heads twisted backwards as they wanted to see the future by the means of black magic. They desire to see what lay ahead caused them damnation. The sinners are now bounded to walk backward, and their own tears blinded them for eternity. In the fifth Bolsha, politicians who sold their public offices for money are punished. They are dunked in...
So literally every politician everywhere.
Yeah. They are dunked in Boeing pitch for indulging in corruption and betraying their country. In the poem, Dante mentions a clawed demon called Malebranche who would tear them apart if they tried to come above the surface of the pitch. In the sixth Bolsha, all the hypocrites are punished for the false statuses they built in the society for themselves. They are made to climb a mountain with heavily leadened robes, which would weigh them down. In the seventh Bolsha, all the thieves are punished. They are tormented in a huge pit filled with snakes, lizards, and other reptiles, which would bite them and curl around their hands, legs, back, and neck. In the eighth Bolsha, the counselors of deception and fraud are punished. The fraudulent advisors and evil counselors are covered by individual flames. They all are being punished for the false advisory and pieces of advice to conduct fraud or deception. In the ninth Bolsha, people who separated religion to form their own religion are being punished. They are mutilated for their sins for eternity. In the 10th Bolsha, the falsifiers are tortured. Alchemists, counterfeits, impersonators, perjurers, and others are subjected to terrible diseases, filth, thirst, disgusting odor, screaming, and darkness. I'm just saying, I don't want to be in the 8th circle.
I don't want to be in any of the circles, but I know I'm in at least limbo.
That is for sure.
Thank you. I mean, like, however, I have been baptized and chrismated and indoctrinated fully into the church. However,
I've been baptized.
Yeah, so, like, see, we're fine. It doesn't work that way, but we're
fine. All right, so the 9th and the last circle has 4 things within it. Not too long. So the 9th circle of hell is a frozen lake called Coicus.
How's it spelled?
Cocytus. I was thinking of coitus. That's why I was laughing.
Cocytus?
Sure.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I can't visualize
Yeah,
this.
it's hard.
Like this.
I knew that was coming. It also has here, center of hell, where Satan resides. The souls are frozen in the depths of the lake, depending on the type of severity of their sins. The ones who committed a more severe crime or sin are buried deeper. The first round of the ninth circle is called Cana, named after Cain, who murdered his own brother Abel. Here, the souls of people who betrayed their own family and kin are freezing for eternity. Their neck and head are above the ice so that they could bow and protect themselves from the biting cold winds. The The second round is called Antenora, named after Antenor. He was the soldier from Troy who cheated on his own city to the Greeks. Here, the souls of people who betrayed the country are punished.
Treason.
Yeah. The third round is called Ptolemaea, called after Ptolemy. He called his father-in-law along with his sons for a treat and killed them. Here, traitors who betrayed their guests are punished. And then the fourth round...
So like Bates Motel. Definitely.
Yeah. The fourth round is called Judeca, named after Judas Iscariot. The traitors against God are frozen into immobile and distorted ice statue. There is complete silence in this round. After crossing Judeca comes the center of hell. People who committed the absolute sin of treachery against God are punished here. Here Satan resides, who is trapped in the frozen central zone in the ninth circle of hell. Also, Lucifer, the archangel who betrayed God, is trapped waist deep in the ice. See how they separated Satan and Lucifer?
I see that.
That really got me interested.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, until next time, where we decide if Satan and Lucifer are the same person or not.
Something that drives my dad crazy is anytime
this whole conversation.
Anytime we talk about like Lucifer and how he was a fallen angel and he led the armies of angels against fallen angels against angels and stuff like that. I'm like, Dad, I definitely would have felt the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, pretty much like I would have felt the same as Lucifer. I would have. I'm like, I would have been a fallen angel, Dad.
I mean, look at this. It's literally, hell isn't something, it's literally where you go to be punished for the things you've done against God, basically.
Yeah. That's why people refer to things as like Christian hell.
Yeah.
Because there's like different versions.
Yeah.
My favorite line about hell is from Stephen King's Storm of the Century.
Okay.
And it is, hell is repetition.
Yes.
And it's going to be being tortured over and over again. And of course, like in that series, in that book, actually it was a screenplay. You know, he was like, I'm going to eat your mother's eyes.
Yeah.
Over and over again or something.
I don't know if it was a show or a movie. It could have been Lucifer, the show.
Yeah.
Where it's basically you go through the worst time of your life over and over. It's like walking through a play. You're walking through it and you get to the end and you're back at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I fully agree.
It's going to be living your worst moments over and over again.
Totally agree.
I'm like, that sounds like anxiety.
Full anxiety.
Well, I loved all of that.
Thanks. Literally, it filled me with so much joy.
We are demons.
I'm sorry. It came out wrong. I'm sorry. I'm just weird. It was fascinating. Yes, it's fascinating.
It gives you the good.
I'm sorry. I'm just weird and I like serial killers and
dark things.
Things about hell, apparently. So yeah. Come back next month, Bats and Batties. Who knows where we'll go next? Stay spooky.
And bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Dark, a White Wednesday Radio Network production. Our executive producer is Dustin from the Lead Up Studios team in St. Louis, Missouri. Be sure to like, follow, and share us with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more by searching White Wednesday. You can find The Dark on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more.